campus of South Plains College. This is your TV10 News Update.
From the SPC TV News Center, I'm Jeffrey Nauert.
And I'm Taylor Giles. Here is the latest news.
It may be the first week of March, but it appears nasty winter weather is returning to our area. Only last Friday, SPC campuses and area public schools were closed due to snow and ice. All the recent bad weather here and across the U.S. has led to emergencies such as traffic accidents and power outages. And those emergencies, in turn, may have had more far-reaching effects than you realize. According to the American Red Cross, in the month of February, thousands of blood donation appointments were canceled for weather reasons.
According to the Texas Department of Public Safety, last weekend there were around 300 accidents reported in the Lubbock area. None of them involved serious injuries. But according to the American Red Cross, one car accident victim can need up to 10 pints of blood. Our Joel Dameron tells us about local efforts to collect units of blood.
The Red Cross website reports that over 500 blood drives have been canceled nationwide this year as a result of the severe winter weather that has been gripping the nation. However, in order to help meet the demand for area donations, the heroes at the South Plains Law Enforcement Club teamed up with the United Blood Service last Wednesday to host an on-campus blood drive. The United Blood Service's representative told us that the weather isn't the only factor affecting the current high demand for donations.
Interesting statistic is that of the eligible population that can donate blood, only 5% of the people will actually step up. So we always need people to come out and donate blood at least 3 times a year, and if everyone could do that, it would drastically eliminate the need for urgent appeals for blood.
Law Enforcement Club sponsor Lance Scott reported that they hold 2 blood drives annually, and the turnout for last Wednesday's drive was a success.
Last semester we actually met our goal, and this semester our goal was 19 appointments, and we had 23 appointments, and we actually collected from 20.
In an effort to encourage all to donate, please keep in mind that the life you save may very well be your own. For SBC News, I'm Joel Dameron.
Find out where and when you can donate blood by contacting the United Blood Service or the Red Cross.
The spring induction of the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society will be held tomorrow night here at SPC. Phi Theta Kappa is recognized as the official honor society for community colleges by the American Association of Community Colleges. The ceremony will begin at 7 o'clock at the Sundown Room of the Levelland Campus Student Center.
The 84th regular session of the Texas Legislature is underway in Austin. The state Congress will be discussing many issues between now and June 1st. Our own Jeffrey Nauert has more on how the session could affect South Plains College.
With the current legislature in session, the budget and funding for community colleges such as South Plains are under review. In order to get a better idea of how new legislation might affect state funding for South Plains, we talked to College President Kelvin Sharp.
I don't anticipate a cut, and what I've heard from the legislators is they don't anticipate a cut either. I'm just not exactly sure how much we can count on in terms of growth.
Funding from the state currently represents 24% of total revenue for the college. Dr. Sharp is hoping that an increase in state funding would ease the financial burden on students.
You know, I'm positive. I'm hoping that our legislators will see the opportunity for us to get an increase in state funds so that, you know, this time we can give this tuition and fees a break.
South Plains College is one of 50 community college districts in the state of Texas and serves 13 counties, including Hockley and Lubbock counties. Although enrollment has plateaued recently, Dr. Sharp believes the local economy of those counties could soon play a part in an increase of enrollment.
I expect that this fall we'll probably see, if this oil stays around $50 or somewhere around $50, we'll see an increase in enrollment.
Hockley County residents will also be keeping an eye on this legislative session, as a decrease in state funding could mean an increase in their local taxes. Both students and taxpayers will be interested to see how this legislative session pans out in regards to funding for community colleges. For SPC TV, I'm Jeffrey Nauert. In national news, the accused bomber from 2013's attack on the Boston Marathon is finally going on trial. Dzhokhar Tsarnaev is facing 30 federal charges related to the bombing and a later shooting of an MIT police officer. The defense counsel are expected to present Tsarnaev as a troubled young man who fell under the influence of an older brother bent on jihad. That older brother, Tamerlan Tsarnaev, was killed by police in a shootout following the bombing. Opening arguments for the trial are scheduled for today. If convicted, Tsarnaev could face the death penalty.
And former Boston Red Sox pitcher Curt Schilling spoke out today after cyberbullies targeted his teenage daughter on social media in response to one of his tweets. The former baseball all-star sent out a tweet congratulating his daughter for pitching with her team next year. Some of the responses on Twitter about his daughter ranged from degrading innuendo to sexually explicit and violent. So Schilling found out who was behind the posts and not only exposed them on his personal blog, he tracked down their employers and schools.
It's for the rest of her life. So the lesson is, accountability. The anonymity of the internet really doesn't exist. There are a few people in this world that can do it, but not many. And listen, if you're a parent, Twitter is not some other world. I saw people talking about, hey, they did it on Twitter and then they got it in the real world. And Twitter is the real world. And if you're a parent, you better be able to admit that and understand it.
Schilling says 9 of the Twitter followers have paid a price. One of the users lost his job while another was suspended from the college he attends.
The weather has changed from rain to snow outside the SPC TV studios right now. Will it continue through tonight? When we come back after the break, we'll have a look at weather. Stay with us.
So what are you doing?
Getting a beer?
For who?
For Jeff over there.
That guy?
Yeah, Jeff from class.
Isn't he underage?
Yeah, but I don't think it's that bad of a problem, do you?
That idea is about as good as an M. Night Shyamalan movie. So, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want to.
Welcome back to the SPC TV News Center. I'm Jeffrey Nowert. Let's take a look at the weather. As you can see, we do have a bit of a cold front pushing down across the South Plains and across northern Texas as well, and that has created some storms that are stretching all the way to the Atlantic seaboard. The West Coast, though, looking with clear skies, they're enjoying some nice weather right now. Let's take a look at our state temperatures. It is currently 29 in Lubbock, 20 in Amarillo. It's 77 down in Brownsville, 73 in Corpus, and then 77 again back up in Houston. Let's look at our local temperatures. It's currently 29 degrees. It is snowing. We have a 90% chance of a wintry mix for the rest of today. We have a high of 39 today, which we already hit, and we're on the way back down. Tonight, our overnight low is 17 with a 40% chance of more snow. Tomorrow, we're looking for a high of 35 degrees and a low of 19. So the temperatures aren't going to be much better, but it is going to be sunny, unlike what we had today. We do have an announcement from South Plains College. An announcement has been made that all campuses will close this evening at 5 o'clock due to weather. When we come back from the break, we'll take a look at what's going on in the world of sports. Stay with us.
So what are you doing?
Getting a beer?
For who?
For Jeff over there.
That guy?
Yeah, Jeff from class.
Isn't he underage?
Yeah, but I don't think it's that bad of a problem, do you?
That idea is about as good as an M. Night Shyamalan movie. So, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want to.
Well, a busy day in sports, including a shocking move in the NFL. First, though, we begin with the SPC Texans basketball team poised to begin a playoff run. Texans are headed to Brownwood to compete in the Region 5 tournament. Here's our Taylor Giles with the report.
Texan basketball wrapped up the regular season with a shared title of the Western Junior College Athletic Conference. The season continues this weekend with the Region 5 tournament in Brownwood. We caught up with assistant coach Plona to talk about their upcoming opponent.
Well, Temple's going to press you full court. They're going to come out and take the ball. Every time we score, they're going to be right up on us. So obviously we need to prepare for that. That's different than most teams in our league. We don't really play any teams. New Mexico Junior College does that a little bit, but it's a different style. So we got to make sure we're prepared for that. They switch defenses a little bit. We got to make sure our guys understand what they're going to do.
Coach Plona also tells us the regional tournament is not the final goal. The Texans are also playing for a berth in the national tournament next weekend. In order to get to the national tournament, the Texans must win the regional tournament or receive an at-large bid.
I really don't know. I mean, we got one last year, but we had a couple fewer losses overall. We were ranked 5th in the country. This year our ranking's a little bit lower because we have a couple more losses. We played a harder schedule, so we would try to kind of make sure that people knew that we've played a tough schedule and that we've competed with the highest level in junior college and everything like that. But I definitely don't think it's a sure thing. I mean, I think the easiest thing that we can do is go out there and try to win this tournament this weekend and try to get back to Hutch.
The Texans take on Temple College tomorrow at noon. You can watch the game at spctexans.com. For SPC TV, I'm Taylor Giles.
Took 3 tries this year, but the Levelland boys basketball team finally beat Lamesa last night 61-58. After losing to the Golden Tornadoes twice in conference play, the Lobos pull off the upset win to advance to the boys state regional tournament. Sophomore Nick Gerber led the Lobos with 19 points. Levelland takes on number 5 Bridgeport Friday night at the Rip Griffin Center at Lubbock Christian. Well, there was snow and ice and frigid winds, all which lead to no baseball games in a while for the 5th-ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders. They made up for it last night in a big way. Tech battles back to beat Abilene Christian 6-5 in 16 innings. Yeah, 16. It was the longest game in Tech baseball since 1966 when they played 17 innings against Southeastern Oklahoma State. Tim Tadlock and the boys head west for a weekend series with Cal State Fullerton starting Friday. In a shocking move, the Philadelphia Eagles have reportedly agreed to trade All-Pro running back LaShawn McCoy to the Buffalo Bills. Adam Schefter of ESPN broke the news yesterday. The deal would send young phenom linebacker Kiko Alonso back to the Eagles. The two teams can't ratify the trade through until March 10th, when the NFL league year officially begins. McCoy finished last season 3rd in the NFL with 1,300 yards rushing. So Chip Kelly gets his guy, another Oregon guy on the Eagles.
Yeah, we'll see what McCoy's production does when going to Buffalo. I mean, hard to top 1,300 at 3rd in the NFL.
It's going to be ground and pound with Rex Ryan up there in Buffalo now.
That's right. Despite the cold weather across the country, spring break is still right around the corner for many schools and universities. So with spring break on our minds, we asked students around campus here at SPC the following question. If you had $3,000 in your pocket, where would you go for spring break and why? Here's what they had to say.
Okay, we're asking people if you had $3,000 for spring break, where would you go and why?
I'll go to Tokyo, because that's the place where I always wanted to go my whole life, pretty much.
To be honest, I'd probably just stay at home. I'm not much of a money-spending person. I don't really have anywhere else I want to go anyway. That's where my family is. I'd buy a car.
You'd buy a car for spring break?
Yeah.
I would probably go to Phoenix. I've got a friend who lives there, and nice and warm, get to swim, all that stuff. So.
Definitely go on a cruise to the Caribbean. It's fun. It's a great time. That's what I would do.
Jamaica, because it's a beautiful place to go, the beach and things to relax.
I'll be going to Ruidoso because it's supposed to be snowing over there, and I'm going with some friends. We're going to rent a cabin, rent some ski equipment, and just hang out. Great outdoors.
Probably the Bahamas because it's somewhere nice and warm instead of the snow and cold weather.
I'll go to Corpus Christi, go see Salinas.
If I had $3,000 for spring break, I'd go to Germany.
Why?
Because I've seen it on documentaries how beautifully green it is. We're kind of lacking nature-esque here in Texas. You know, it's more colorful.
Bahamas. Bahamas. I would like to go there. No, Jamaica, no, Bahamas. Bahamas is a beautiful island and you can relax and it's close to here. Well, in plane is an area close.
Before we leave, we're going to send out one more reminder that campuses will be closed tonight at 5 o'clock. There's no word on any delays or cancellations for tomorrow. That's the latest news from South Plains College.
Thanks for joining us.